The prices for the Sony A90J OLED TV have been published online, and the 83-inch A90J Master Series OLED may be more affordable than you think. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, Vicentio from HDTV Test here. If you have been following my CES coverage online, you may be aware that I'm pretty excited about the 83-inch Sony A90J Master Series OLED. I even gave it our Best of CES 2021 award. I can't deny it, I like big bright, and I cannot lie. Now, established US retailer B&H Photo Video have published the pre-order prices for these Sony A90J OLEDs, and I'm gonna go through them in the next few minutes. So if you look on their webpage here, you can see that the 55-inch model will retail at $3,000 US, whereas the 65-inch version will cost you $4,000 US. But by far the most surprising bit about the prices is the one for the massive 83-inch A90J Master Series OLED, and it will retail for only $8,000 US. I say only because many people probably expected a higher price from Sony, considering that the A90J is the flagship OLED from the company for 2021, and the TV will have OLED Contrast Pro technology, which will be able to achieve even higher peak brightness than conventional OLEDs thanks to an aluminum laminate sheet behind the panel that serves to dissipate heat, allowing for even higher peak brightness. And Sony also promotes two other different technologies that have been implemented on the Sony A90J to help achieve higher peak brightness, and one of it is temperature distribution mapping, and also the second method is a boost in not only the white subpixel but also the red, green and blue subpixels to achieve even higher color volume rather than the white subpixel dilution effect that we have seen before on previous higher peak brightness panels from Panasonic. Despite the increase in peak brightness, there is actually no increase in color volume on the Panasonic GZ2000. So some scenes actually you may see a certain dilution, a certain desaturation at higher peak brightness, because at the end of the day, this is a consumer WRGB OLED panel, so it has a white subpixel. To increase the peak brightness, it is mostly contributed by the white subpixel boosting, and the red, green and blue subpixels don't increase correspondingly. Another thing that you may have noticed from the B&H Photo Video webpage is that the 55 and 65-inch A90J will be available for pre-order starting from the middle of February, whereas the 83-inch A90J will only be available for pre-order 3 months later, starting from the 17th of May. So maybe the reason is because LG Display is still preparing the mother glass and cutting the 83-inch panels from these 8.5G mother glass at factory at this moment, whereas the 55-inch and 65-inch panels are already ready to be shipped. But $8,000 US is an extremely keen and competitive price, and it makes me wonder what LG will be doing with their 83-inch C1 OLED. Now, if you have been following my CES coverage, you will know that the brighter LG G1 panel only tops out at 77 inches, and if you want to buy an 83-inch OLED from LG, you have to go with the C1 series, which doesn't have the brighter OLED Evo panel. But from the point of view of pricing, that would mean that LG probably would have to price the 83 C1 panel lower than what Sony is pricing the Master Series OLED in the 83-inch version. Now, don't get me wrong, LG has made great strides over the past few years, primarily because of OLED. They have actually climbed up the ranking of manufacturers. But I think, if you offer an OLED TV to a consumer at the same price between Sony and LG with roughly equivalent specs, then most people would probably choose Sony because of Sony's brand power. And in the broadcast business, I think there is a saying that says that no one ever got fired for buying Sony. And The thing with Sony this year is that they will have TV-led Dolby Vision. They will add HDMI 2.1 support, although they will only have two HDMI 2.1 ports versus the four HDMI 2.1 ports on LG OLEDs. But I think the brand power of Sony means that LG is going to be very hesitant to price the 83-inch C1 OLED, especially considering that it doesn't have the brighter OLED panel at the same price as the 83-inch A90J at $8,000, assuming the price is correct, of course. Then that means that, the 83-inch C1 will be even lower in price, which will be good for consumers like you if you just want the biggest 4K OLED that you can buy without caring whether it is a brighter panel, whether it is OLED Evo. Then the 83-inch C1 may come in at, who knows, $6,000, $7,000, and maybe even dropping lower come Black Friday. So I think this is extremely good news for consumers. Obviously, this is all assuming that the prices that B&H Photo Video have published is correct, but there is no reason to doubt them because, they probably got these list prices from Sony themselves. And from previous years, their track record of being accurate with their pre-order prices have been pretty good. So it is $8,000 in the States. That would probably translate to £8,000 in the UK and maybe 8,000 euros in the rest of Europe. That's just how, currency works currently. But let's come back and talk about how they are able to achieve this kind of pricing. And in my mind, I think that LG Display must not be charging that much of a premium over 77-inch panels, because if you have watched my previous videos talking about these 83-inch OLEDs, you will know that the 83-inch panels are cut from the same mother glass as the 48-inch panel, and basically the 8.5G mother glass, they can either elect to cut two 77-inch panels and two 48-inch panels, or they can cut two 83-inch panels and two 48-inch panels, which means that, the incremental cost of production for the 83-inch panel isn't going to be that much more than the 77-inch panels. And I think, LG Display is not really charging a premium for their 83-inch panels. So from that point of view, I think it is certainly very good news for consumers. And I think that at $8,000 or £8,000 or 8,000 euros, it certainly makes the 83-inch A90J Master Series OLED, even though it only has 4K resolution, a very viable choice for consumers who may be tempted by large-sized displays. Now, clearly, if you want to go for the cheapest LED LCD, there is no way that OLED can compete. But, OLED has its self-emissive strengths of true blacks, vibrant colors, wide viewing angles, near instantaneous pixel response time. And the thing that worries me about buying such a large screen size in terms of the 83-inch Sony A90J is that the inherent 24p stutter, which is more apparent on OLED due to their near instantaneous pixel response time, because there is no, say, motion blur that is inherent in LCD to actually hide this stutter that is actually inherent in all 24p content. But in Sony's defense, their motion handling has been the best among all TV manufacturers. And if you wish to apply some motion interpolation to smooth out the 24p stutter, then at least you can depend on Sony to have the algorithm that is least likely to introduce interpolation artifacts. Although I have to say that if you add some smoothing to 24p content, you will always see some soap opera effect, however mild, if you are a purist. But some people seem to be not very sensitive to soap opera effect, so they can actually engage Sony's motion flow interpolation technology to try and smooth out the inherent 24p stutter, which in my mind would be much more obvious on a bigger screen such as the 83-inch OLED. But Let me know what you think about these prices from Sony. I mean, does the $8,000 or pounds or euros price of the 83-inch OLED fall within your budget, if you really want a big screen television? I think, it's certainly within my budget now, and I can now postpone my OnlyFans plans. So from that point of view, I'm certainly very happy with these prices. If you are interested in watching our other videos on Sony televisions, I've created a playlist here if you'd like to click on it, and I will see you in the next video.